So, Barrie Island,
Yeah.
that's where we spent the summer.
Yeah. Well, we didn't spend the summer. We only spent a couple of weeks. And we didn't go every summer. We only went about 4 or 5 summers, or I don't know. But Barrie Island is a small island off the end of Manitoulin Island. Well, you can step from Manitoulin Island onto Barrie Island. It's that close. Anyway, it's a beautiful beach with, I think there's 6 cabins, and they're right on the beach, and the trees come right up. The cabin is sheltered from the sun. It's in the shade, but you're right on the beach. Beautiful beach. There are no boats, there are no people, there are no cars. One plane goes over every day. That was the extent of the noise. But we went 3 or 4 years with Natalie and Jerry. And the first year we went, before we got there, you said, "Dad, I want you to rent me a boat." You were about 5, I think. "I want you to rent me a boat." And Dad said, "Okay." So I thought you'd forget about the boat. But we were there a couple of days when you said, "Dad, go and get me a boat." So Dad said, "Okay." You were only about 5, I think. So anyway, he got the rowboat. It was a fairly big boat. And all the kids piled in. Well, there weren't that many. There was, I think, Robert and Andrea and Janet, maybe Cynthia, you and Bill. Anyway, you piled in the boat. And you started to row. And you rowed, and you rowed, and you rowed. And I'm on the beach screaming at Dad, "Get a boat and go after him. Get a boat and go after him." You were way out. And all of a sudden, you looked over the side of the boat, and you jumped in, and it was up to about your waist.
Right. So it's like Providence Bay, I guess.
No, yeah, like Providence
Shallow,
Bay, but that, yeah.
way out.
But I guess all around the island it must be like that. But you seemed to be so far out, and of course, being a nervous mother, I panicked.
So what about the fish?
Oh, the fish, oh. Well, Dad wasn't a fisherman, but he had a rod and reel, because at one point Bill wanted to go fishing. So Dad bought you and Bill a fishing rod, and he bought one for himself. It wasn't a great expensive one. Anyway, Jerry was fond of fishing. Dad wasn't. But one afternoon, Jerry said, "Why don't you come with me, Jim? Why don't you come with me and we'll fish?" So Dad was a good sport. He said, "Okay." So away they went, and they left Natalie and I on the beach with all these kids. So anyway, when they came back, we had the meal ready, and we ate. And then Natalie said, "You were gone all afternoon. We looked after the kids. Now you can do the dishes and look after the kids." So that was fine with me. So we got in the boat, and she rowed us out. On one side of the beach, there were reeds. Anyway, she baited her hook, and she baited mine too, and she threw them in the water, and she wanted to light her cigarette. She held the fishing rod between her knees, and she's lighting this cigarette, and all of a sudden this line started to go, and here, right up against the boat, was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. It was huge.
Like a carp or something.
Huh?
Like a carp. Like a carp.
I don't know what a carp is. Anyway, here was this thing, and of course I'm screaming, and she's yelling, get the net, get the net, get the net. So I got the net. She wanted me to net the boat.
Yeah.
What's that?
Get back. Lean back.
She wanted me to net this bloody fish. And all I was shouting, if you get in, I'm getting out. And I started to hit it with the net. And she said, no, net it, bring it in the boat. And I said, if it gets in, I'm getting out. And of course we're shouting, and the sound carries on the water.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally the fish came undone from the hook anyway, and it swam away. Oh, she rowed us into shore, and men were standing on the beach, Bill and Jim and Jerry, and they said that was quite a show you put on. What made you think of that? We said, we didn't think of it. It was happening.
Hmm?
They said, no, there was no fish. I said, there was this great big ugly, ugly fish. It must have been a pike.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get into the boat. And he got in, I was getting out. So we finally convinced them there had been a fish.
Hmm.